Today we're gonna start making a cranberry pomegranate stuffing. First thing we will do is chop some of the celery. And I like to chop this fresh because it stays really nice. And it doesn't take that much work to chop this anyway. Okay. I chop some onions. And everybody has their own techniques of doing stuff. This is how I do it. Then I'm gonna pan on the heat. I take some of the butter that I use for my stuffing, put that into the pan, and then put in first the celery. Celery is the hardest vegetable, so you have to cook that a little longer than your onions. Now I believe in seasoning every step, so what I do, because there's just enough seasoning into your packet of stuffing, that I want to just season this as well. Saute this pretty good. Now we're about at the halfway cooking point of the celery, and that is when we start adding our onions, so we have an even cooking time and end up not overcooking one of the other. And when it's almost done, the onions and stuff start to get a little bit transparent. The onions start to caramelize, and the vegetables are just about done. Okay, because what will happen if we stuff the turkey with the stuffing, the vegetables will still cook inside the bird. We're gonna add the water for the box of the stuffing. It calls for 1.5 cups of water. And by doing it this way, there's always a caramelization that gets on the side of the pans, you know, the caramels, the sugars inside of the vegetables, and then they get washed from the sides, and that is flavor that will go right into your stuffing. The cranberries, we do have the craisins. If we throw those right into the water, they will plump up and will be nice and soft. Put about like a half a bag into this stuffing right here. Soon this will come back to a boil and they will get nice and plump. This is the remaining butter. Remember, we cut off a little piece to saute our vegetables, and then we add as well the butter. While that is going on, what we can do is cut our pomegranates. First you cut the top off, and I always step back a little bit because this thing likes to squirt you sometimes. There we go. You can see the seeds. Now you see those lines here that divide the pomegranate into sections. So what I like to do is score in the skin all the way down where those sections are. So when you pull them apart, you will have sections. And that will be a lot less messy than just trying to cut this thing open. And there you go. You know. And what we can do then is we have a bowl. We put water in there. And then you can put your kernels in there. What will happen is the kernels will sink to the bottom, but if there's any skin in there, see, that will float to the top. Now I see in the meantime our liquid and stuff is boiling. The cranberries are getting plump. You know, it loses a little bit of its brightness, but that sweetness is there, and that's what we're going for. Because we're gonna get the sweet from the cranberries and the tartness from the pomegranates seeds, and oh, those things are so good. What I'm gonna do now is just pour the box in here and stir that around so that all the bread can soak up all the liquid. If it is too dry, just add a little bit more water. It's not a big deal. So now we had the stuffing already. It's, you know, the bread soaked up all the liquid. And now we have the pomegranate seeds, and you just pour them in there. And then I'll take our spoon and just toss them through. And then you have your cranberry and pomegranate dressing.